Hey, we're Aniplays, and today we'll be watching Classroom of the Elite, labeled as a suspenseful psychological thriller, an anime which is going to be getting a second season after such a long wait. But it's been a while since we've all watched season 1, so we're here to recap the first season over 6 videos, 2 episodes at a time. Today we'll be covering episodes 7 through 8. If you haven't already seen our first recap of 1 to 2, go watch that before this. If you already have, be on the lookout for the rest. And without further ado, Suzune Horikita continues to study inside her dorm room throughout summer vacation. Kiyotaka Ayanokoji repeatedly calls her, asking her to go to the pool, and she initially says no by hanging up the phone on him. Horikita hates SIMPS. The night before, a group of Class D students that consists of Kiyotaka, Ken Sudos, Kanji Ike, Haruki Yamauchi, and the ringleader, Haido Satomura, meet up to discuss their preparations for peeping on the girls while in the changing room at the pool. During the trip to the pool, Suzune finds her analyzing the many people around her. Several of the girls discuss their relationships with Kiyotaka, with Kyoko Kushida commenting he seems popular now as Suzune ignores this. Meanwhile, Haido observes the boys from the school's general storehouse while communicating with the boys using a transceiver and hand signals. After a bit of fan servicing, Haruki sneaks into the women's changing room as a janitor to secretly install the cameras under the guise of closing it for cleaning, but has trouble doing so, forcing Haido to change the plans. Now I know why they were accepted into the school. With some motivating words from Haido, Kanji goes in and installs them instead. As Kakeru, Ryuen, and students from Class C approach the changing room while Kanji is still in it. Needing help to escape, Ken comes to the entrance of the changing room to confront Ryuen in order to stall for time while students from Class A arrive to start a fight. Manabu arrives and lets everybody know that though they are engaging in leisurely activities, they are still on school grounds. With Haido alerting Kiyotaka, who is aware of the plan and about the situation, Kiyotaka asks Suzune to stand on top of a diving platform and give a speech about Class D ascending to Class A someday, despite the numerous defects the students have. With the students distracted, Kanji escapes the changing room unnoticed. Suzune went into the changing room to remove the SD cards from the camera to foil the operation. The scene flashes back to the call where Kiyotaka had convinced her to come in the first place. Kiyotaka explains to Suzune that he used her rather than convince his classmates not to do it because of the possibility that they would have done it behind his back. Kiyotaka then asks if she had fun with the others, but she replies that she didn't come to have fun with anybody. This causes Kiyotaka to push her into the pool. Seems like Kiyotaka got his revenge for Horikita hanging up the phone on him. And she does the same to him in return though. But this act makes the other students start splashing her, thinking it was a game to her dismay. Later that night, Kiyotaka sends Suzune an email which is a picture of her with the other students, as she remarks on how she gets along fine without others, but smiles at the gesture. For a class trip, all first-year students are taken on a luxurious cruise trip. And why couldn't I have gone to this school? During a cruise play, Ayano Koji finds out from Chabashir that an unknown man had contacted the school, asking for him to be expelled. Chabashir then offers to cover for him, though only if he will start working to reach Class A. But he immediately refuses and tries to leave. However, she warns him that if he doesn't comply, he will be expelled and stripped of his freedom. Suspecting that she may be manipulating him, he grabs her by the collar, telling her that she is making a mistake in trying to use him. Chabashir is unfazed by him and casually tells him her own life is filled with regret as he releases her. He goes to the bow of the ship and contemplates his fate at the school and whether he'll throw away his freedom to protect his freedom. The next day, Ayano Koji hangs out with Ken Sudo and his friends who do a series of events such as Ike asking to address Kushida by her first name, Kyoko. In Japan, calling somebody by their last name is seen as formal, but by calling somebody by their first name would mean that person is either close to them or their lover. She responds by asking to call Ike by his first name. Sudo asks Kiyotaka what Horikita's first name is, which is Suzune. Having learned this, he continues to use her name in a variety of different scenarios. The group decides to get lunch, But when their table manners become unkempt, Yahiko Totsuka, a student of Class A, insults them. Naturally, Sudo is provoked, but the brawl is stopped by Kohei Katsuragi, a representative of Class A, who reprimands both sides for the behavior. Very soon, Ayana Koji meets with Suzune to discuss the trip's destination and purpose. Ayana Koji reveals that the school is taking them to a boarding house on an island owned by the school where they suspect an ulterior motive. Suzune is then approached by Ryuen about the security camera setup and tries to manipulate her. Another student from Class C, Ibuki, tries to confront Ryuen about something but is violently rebuffed by Albert. Like I said last time, we all know who would win in a fight. Suzune remarks that Class C could be on the verge of collapsing from the inside. Sakanagi is seen plotting in the background while trying to investigate some students. Elsewhere on the ship, many of the other students' and teachers' activities, such as Kouenji, acting egotistical and arrogant as he travels the ship. Ichinose and her teacher, Chie, Hoshi, and Amaya, are getting a fan service massage while discussing students to be wary of. After Ichinose mentioning a few rather prominent students, Hoshi and Amaya suggest to also be wary of Ayana Koji from Class D. This causes Ichinose to wonder about him before she expresses doubt on it, as she and Shay share a laugh. Later, Sakura is shown to be practicing how to speak to Ayana Koji to ask him out on a date. My boy got riz. However, she stumbles, and when Ayana Koji appears, she suddenly changes her mind and asks for his help in socializing with her classmates instead, and is happy when he says he'll help, which causes her to grab his hand out of joy. When Kushida appears and sees them, Sakura gets embarrassed and flustered, as she then leaves. Kushida and Ayana Koji then talk as he recalls her darker personality and tries to leave, but is stopped by Kushida when she reverts to her darker personality, telling him that she could sense his wariness of her, which he confirms of. She then switches back to her cheerful personality and confesses that she feels lonely when left alone. The very next day, the teachers inform all the students the real reason behind the trip. They are all required to take a survival test on a deserted island for a week. Well, that's all we can show you for today. Join us next time as we cover episodes 9 to 10 of Classroom of the Elite. Aniplays out.